Welcome to Roxtalks. This episode is brought to you by Social Stories. I'm so super excited about this, y'all. It is a new opportunity for you. You love Instagram or you love hate Instagram, but you know it's necessary for your business. And stories is such an important part of that. But knowing when and what to put, what content, what story to tell on a daily basis can be so daunting. And that is why I've created Social Stories. Every day, you're going to get a storyboard from me that's going to give you a guide of what to talk about and what to showcase in your life to help you elevate your business, increase your followers and your engagement. To become a founding member of Social Stories, go to roxannewilson.com. Welcome to Roxtalks. In the same vein, we've been talking about passion for the last couple of weeks, and so I'm so excited to hear from Aishah Tatum today. She is a holistic wellness coach, and really, when I say holistic, you'll see she brings it all in, which is so important because you can't find your passion if you're not holistically well. It's a thing. Google it. No, I'm just kidding. But I can't wait for you to hear from her and to learn from her. And I know that you're going to get some tidbits for your life that are really going to help you walk in your passion, your purpose, and live a wonderful, abundant life. So let's tune in. I am here today with Aishah Tatum. And you know, I always tell you sometimes the best things you find, the best finds you can find these days are on the gram. And she's definitely someone I found as I was deep diving on the gram. And she made me stop, not only because she has just a great feed, and a great feed makes you stop, but also she has content behind the feed, which is a whole nother Oprah, but was very impressive to me. And so I found myself looking more and more at all that she was doing. And she's a holistic wellness coach, which I'll let her tell you more about. But I think it's fantastic to have her today. And Aishah, thank you for saying yes to a stranger on Instagram. I appreciate that.
I'm so excited, Roxanne. I'm very much excited about this, and I'm looking forward to our conversation today. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here. Now, what I thought was so interesting about what you do is, like I said, you're a holistic wellness coach. How do you define that? Because I feel like these days that could be so, it could be defined by so many different people, different ways.
Mm-hmm. For me, holistic wellness is really about the whole person. So it's about the mind, the body, the spirit, the emotions, the finances, the past baggage, the dreams of, the person's desires. And it's really all about reaching a point of alignment with all of those areas. And so a lot of times when one area of our life is out of whack, it sends a ripple effect to every other area. So we're impacted because we're multidimensional. And so holistic wellness is really about bringing the whole person back to their true nature authentically, and being able to help them align with their higher calling for their soul, whether that's making more money, whether that's walking more in their purpose, whether that's having that healthy relationship they desire. Holistic wellness is all about living a healthy, well, abundant life overall.
A healthy, well, abundant life overall. So when you say holistic, you really mean holistic, the whole 9 yards. So you treat every part of it, is what you're telling me.
Correct.
And I was looking, okay, so you talk about your tenets are renewing the mind, healing the body, and elevating the spirit. Correct. How does one do that? Because I thought, I'm like, oh, that's great. I need to renew my mind. I want to heal my body for sure and elevate the spirits. That seems easier said than done. How does one do that?
And it is very challenging. It takes a lot of work. And so as we talk about first, when we talk about healing the body, so I'm vegan. I've been vegan for almost a decade now. Wow. And I know it's a big fad out now, but I'm glad that more and more people are really leaning more towards that plant-based lifestyle. But as you talk about healing the body, one of the things that we look at is detoxing at the cellular level. We look at, the alkalinity of your blood, the alkalinity of your organs, and we look at your current lifestyle, your current eating habits. And we focused a lot on detoxing, getting rid of the meat, getting rid of the dairy, getting rid of the GMOs, getting rid of the sweets and the sugar. And that's one of the first steps when we talk about bringing someone more into a higher vibrational frequency. And so as you come more into a higher vibrational frequency, things in your life and other areas of your life will begin to open up, and you have a lot more clarity and a lot more insight into what you have to do to get closer to your overall state of wellness. So that's one of the ways that we will focus on, or that I focus on, detoxing the body.
So are you saying that if I eat meat, I can't be in alignment? Because I love meat. I need
No, definitely not. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that everything, we all know everything is energy, right? Everything has an energetic frequency. And so meat has a very low vibrational frequency. And depending on how the meat was slaughtered, how the whole life cycle of the meat, the animal, what it went through, the processing, the chemicals, the environment, all of that is also going to impact your energy. You know, you're going to be consuming fear, anger, chemicals. You know, it's just no telling what all that animal went through. We know about factory farming, but all of that has a negative impact on you and your own vibrational frequency.
So what I hear you saying is, regardless of what you eat, there is a reason, there is a necessity to eat food that's either organic or was raised well, treated well, if you're talking about meat. But even with vegetables, you don't want the ones that have all the pesticides on it. You want to make sure that it had a good, because what you are what you eat is what you're saying is, when they told us you are what you eat, you really are what you eat.
Yeah, definitely. And really, even when it comes to the vegetables and the fruit, because you know, you have the issue with genetically modified fruits and vegetables as well. And so really the key for all of us is really just trying to find that state of, you know, optimal food. You know, it's about good, better, and best. So if you can get the meat, I don't have a problem with people eating meat. The issue is, how was the meat processed? How was the meat raised? What did the meat have to go through to get to your table?
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're on this path of like evolution, making just more conscious choices in what you put in your body, you know, thinking about, well, maybe I need to consider the type of meat I'm eating or the type of vegetables that I'm eating.
Right.
And yeah.
Right. That makes sense. So that's healing the body, is doing things like that. And do you actually go through detoxes, or do you encourage your clients to go through major detoxes where they just flush everything out, or how does that work?
So there's a couple of different detoxes that we do. There's juice cleaning. There's some herbs and supplements that we'll do. And I encourage all of my clients, the women that I work with, they either have to go vegetarian or pescatarian or vegan while they're working with me. And so, you know, I give them a full meal plan. I give them various supplements they can take. I give them a whole consistent regimen, where to shop at, what to buy. And we go through this whole detox together.
Wow. So you're serious. I told you she was the real deal. Let's talk about renewing the mind. Okay. How does one renew the mind?
So renewing the mind is very challenging. The first thing that we have to come to realize is what the mind really is, you know, and so it's broken into both the subconscious and the conscious. And so when we think about conscious, we're really thinking about, you know, our day-to-day decisions. We're thinking about rationalizing things. And when we think about our subconscious, it's more of the programming of our minds. It's our beliefs, it's our fears, it's our habitual thought patterns that have been formed into beliefs. And so when we talk about renewing the mind, the very first thing is what mind is. And the mind, the subconscious mind, more importantly, is really the area that has to be focused on, because we all have a mental paradigm. We all have a set of beliefs that we operate from. And a lot of those beliefs are formed from childhood. A lot of those beliefs are formed from outside influences like TV, social media. Even when we were in grade school, like if you got picked on a lot, you may have formed a belief that maybe you weren't good enough. You know, kind of just depends on some of the past experiences that you've had. But all of those experiences that we have, all of us have our own mental programming, and we can't go past our program. Yeah. And so what I like to do in my work is really help people identify the blocks that they have in their belief system when it comes to self-love, when it comes to self-worth, when it comes to money, when it comes to being able to heal. Like I work with women, some of them have been molested, some of them have had a lot of other childhood trauma. For me, some of my trauma came from feeling abandoned as a child by my father. So I grew up with a lot of low self-worth and low self-esteem. And so that manifested as I grew older into toxic relationships, into wanting to be validated by men into being used or allowing myself to be used or give way more than I was getting in return, to be cheated on and all of those things. And so as we talk about really reprogramming our mind, what we're looking at is our belief system. We're looking at what we really believe to be true, why we believe it to be true, and is it actually the truth? And then working to reprogram a lot of those, a lot of that paradigm.
That's a lot of work, a lot of daily work, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. And work is daily in every aspect, mind, body, spirit, emotions. It's a constant. It's like you never arrive. It's like every day there's more work to do, so it's like being comfortable with that, because it's like the more you grow, then you find, oh God, I got something here I got to deal with, and something I got to deal with. So
you
it's
open
like
that door you didn't even know was there, and it's all coming out. It's like, Yeah. But I think, it's funny because when I feel like I'm in line and I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm praying and I'm doing my affirmations, I feel amazing. And then life might get in the way and I'm busy and I'm a few days out. I'm like, why do I feel like, and I have to go back and go, wait, did I do my prayers? Did I do my affirmations? Did I set my intentions for the day? And 9 times, really probably 10 times out of 10, it's like, no, I didn't do that.
Yeah. And that work is so important.
It is.
Really, yeah.
So why don't they teach that in school? I'm boggled, because you were talking about how so much of what we are is formed when we're younger, and we're not taught how to even process it when we're younger. When we're a sponge and we could learn how to process it. Wouldn't it be amazing? I'm on a tangent, but if schools actually taught you how to deal with your emotions,
I think so. Definitely. And for me, like I'm one of these people, like people may consider it like a conspiracy theorist, but it's really not a conspiracy. Like I really believe that the system is designed for us not to really tap into our optimal state of who we really are. I feel like it's really a program. It's a designed program, because they know how the mind works. The powers that be, they know how the mind works. They know the infinite potential within us, but what good would it do them if everybody knows how to use their mind, if everybody knows how to eat properly, if everybody studies vibration, if everybody starts studying universal law and recognizes that, hey, I really am the spirit of God. I don't need to work 50 years at this job. I can create some tech company and create massive wealth for others. I feel like it's set up for a certain group of people to continue to stay in power. Mm-hmm. And so that's why our system is designed the way it is. Our school system, the prison system, the food system, everything is a specific program. And so all of us are really getting to this space now where we want to break out of the matrix, because we realize that's really what this world is. It's really a matrix. So yeah.
Mic drop. That's going to be the soundbite I'm going to use for just so you know. So they're all going to come after us because I'm putting it out there. No, but what you said makes so much sense. And as you're saying, was thinking to myself, now with social media changing things, and now with a generation of millennials who are like, wait, that doesn't make sense. What are you talking about? We are changing the script. We're flipping it in a lot of ways. For people who are breaking out the system, whether they're not going to college and they're just, boom, they have a thought, they create it, and next thing you know, they're multimillionaires. Or people are saying, you know what, this job is not working for me and I'm going to leave and it's okay. You don't see, that was not my generation. It was definitely not my parents' generation or the generation before that. But you're seeing a revolution. It might be the most interesting revolution since like the Industrial Revolution, where people are really making changes.
Yeah. People are waking up. I mean, we realize, like, wait a second. Why? Yeah, we're woke. Like, why would I work at a job I don't like for 40, 50 years, even if I make it that far to retire off of 30% of the income and to be about to die at 65 years old? I mean, like, who does that at this? Nobody wants to do. That's not for me, And so, like you said, like we're awake. We're like, we're not doing that,
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's all about the evolution of the human being. We're in this age now, like you said, even social media makes it a lot more accessible for a lot of us to say, hey, well, this person is making $100,000 a month doing XYZ. This person is out here traveling the world as a blogger, living her dreams, making money, getting sponsored. Like, wait, what's my gift here? Like, how can I capitalize on my own talents and get out here and make it happen? And that's what it's about, and that's the age we're in. And it's a blessing for us to be in this age, because we're virtually doing the same.
Trying to crack the code and figure it all out and get out there and go swimming.
Yeah, definitely.
So talk to me about elevating the spirit, because I know elevating your spirits is another big part or a big tenet for you.
Yeah, definitely. So elevating the spirit is really all about connecting with God. It's about beginning to see yourself as God sees you. And a lot of times we as women struggle with that because a lot of us look for validation in man. We look for validation in relationships. We try to seek an even playing field when it comes to money, when it comes to success and all these other things. But it's really all about connecting with your true self, who you really are, and beginning to see yourself as God sees you, but not only seeing yourself as God sees you, beginning to own that, walk in that power of your greatness and your divine, limitless potential, and really come into a place of saying, okay, my relationship with God has to be the most important thing ever, because really that's where it all starts. That's the foundation. And what is it that he wants from me? Like, what are the unique gifts and talents that God has put in me to deliver to the world? How can I connect more with that? What am I really gifted at? What can I do that nobody else can do? And so as we talk about elevating our spirit, it's really about connecting with your unique self, your unique gifts and talents, and being able to bring that forth into the world, give birth to that, so that you can have that holistic state of, okay, I got my mind right. I know how to use my mind. First of all, I'm thinking the right thoughts. I got my belief system together. I know how to visualize. I know how to attract. I know how to manifest. I'm eating right. I'm feeding my body the right foods. And, you talk about your spirit. I'm walking in the path God has for me.
Mm.
And one of the other things I want to just touch on briefly is our emotional wellness, because it's all connected. And a lot of times we as women, we store anger, bitterness, forgiveness, resentment, all kinds of toxic emotions, because like you said, we were never really taught how to handle emotional toxicity. We internalize a lot of that. And as women, oftentimes we internalize it in our womb. And so you have this phenomena of uterine cancer, uterine fibroids, and endometriosis and fertility issues, and all of these other areas dealing with our womb, because a lot of us are holding a lot of toxic emotions within ourselves. And so as we touch on emotional wellness, it's really important to learn how to release those, and no one really talks a lot about releasing them as much as they should. But one of the processes that I like to use, and it's powerful.
Yeah. How? Tell me. I'm like, wait, how? Tell me more.
It's a process of emotional freedom therapy, which is known as EFT. And so emotional freedom therapy was developed by Gary Craig and Roger Callahan. And so it's really all about learning how to tap on the meridian points in the body. These meridian points are points of spiritual gateways, if you will. And they contain a lot of our stored memories, our stored emotions. And so you tap on, your forehead, your third eye, your outside of your eyebrow, right here under your nose, under your chin, your collarbone, under your armpit. And there's a few other places that you could tap, but you go through a process of identifying really what you're angry about. And then you begin to say other statements. Well, maybe, that situation was really just a lesson for X, Y, and Z. Maybe I can shift how I see it. And as you go through this process, I'm going to be teaching a class on it soon, but as you go through this process and you do it several times, you'll begin to feel like the emotions are being released, and it's actually documented. And so I hope some of the listeners go in and start researching this, but that's one of the ways that you can begin to release a lot of emotional toxicity. Other ways, journaling.
EFT, and sorry, because when I think of EFT, I think electronic funds transfer. Emotional
freedom
therapy. Okay, thank you. Okay.
So that's definitely one of the ways. But then there are some other things that people can do on a other holistic level, like spiritual baths. There are sacred showers. There are certain foods that you can begin to take to help you with your chakras. Certain juices that you can begin to consume and make that'll help you feel a lot more vibrationally whole.
Mm-hmm.
And so, so I think that is important.
So one thing I really enjoy about you, and that struck me, because I find that the holistic wellness so interesting. And I think there's a lot of great tenets of it, but growing up, I'm a Christian, having a Christian background. It's very rare that you hear a coach that's willing to talk about God and manifestation and holistic all in one. And I've talked to them. I've like interviewed them, asked them questions, and I'm like, okay, wait, they're not willing to say God in the same sentence as any of this, which for me, it's not normal for me. It's unnatural. And then I have to go home and go, okay, how would I fit, how does all that fit under my paradigm of God? And so I'm really thankful to you that you are not afraid to say, wow, there's a higher power in all of this that's causing all of these things to happen. Because I think it took me a long time, and only honestly in the last 6 months am I able to really get the whole, okay, God has a purpose. The purpose he has for our life goes along with all of this other stuff, or it can, if you believe who created it all in the first place. And so thank you for that. I'm just appreciative. I don't even know how to say it, but I'm like, thank you for that, because that's something I don't hear of a lot of voices. You are one of only 2 other voices that I've heard that are willing to say that. So I'm sure there are more out there. I hope there are, but thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. I think a lot of times we miss the true essence of the divine revelations God has sent. None of us were there when, Jesus was here, Muhammad, Abraham, all these amazing men. None of us were really there, but I really think when you begin to study the Bible and study the scripture, it was manifestation. It's according to your faith, be it done unto you. What does that mean? Whatever you believe, you're going to manifest it. Whatever seed you sow, you'll reap. And so it's really about getting to the essence of the truth of, okay, what did God mean by this? And I think so oftentimes people get caught up in the church and get caught up in this concept of religion, and they're taking it out of the true essence of what it's here for. It's really here to help us become the fullness of who we are. Jesus was sent, Muhammad was sent, all these people were sent to show us the true nature of what we too can achieve, and that's what I really believe. I really believe that they were sent to be examples for us, what they taught us, believe, you'll have what you ask, whatever you ask for, you believe you received it, it's yours. Isn't that the law of attraction? You know what I'm saying? Isn't that? And so, I think that we have to, in this day, we really have to start looking at it. Okay, like, what is God teaching me through this? What is God really, what is the true message? Because a lot of times we could get caught up in church and religion and all these things, and we miss the whole point of what was being revealed.
Or also get caught up in just think about it, it's going to pop there, it's going to be, because I don't think that works either.
Yeah.
Like separate from, at least it doesn't work for me, separate of understanding where that's all coming from. So
right.
that's, so thank you for that. So, okay. So tell me this. So we're rocking it. We're ready to work, healing our body, maybe meet well-raised meat, renewing our mind, elevating our spirit, even working on our emotional self. Where does that get us? What's the long game for doing all of those things?
The long game and the most, the best answer I can put is it will help you become the greatest expression of who you are. And to me, that means to reach a level of extreme happiness and joy and abundance in every area of your life. It's being able to live as your highest self at all times. And for me, I really believe that's a state of optimal peace. I believe it's unlimited happiness. I believe it's prosperity abounding, and really being in this space of high influence. I think when you can get to this place of optimal wellness, you'll reach like the status of like Oprah or somebody, who's really, suck. who really, has internalized all of these things.
Yeah.
Look at the influence. And I believe that when you get there, you too will shine as bright as the sun. Mm. Everyone that sees you, everyone that comes across your path will automatically be elevated because your light is shining so bright. It's going to start more of a, as you call, a revolution. And it'll be a wave of just mass consciousness unfolding around the globe. Oops. Yeah, that's what I would say.
That would be pretty amazing. I like that. What would you add just to my listeners' motivation? Anything you have that you'd say to get them going today, get them going on this journey? It may not be all 4 things, but what are a couple things that they can do to just get moving?
Well, one of the things that you can do is really take an honest look at your life, where you are right now, and really think about where it is you want to be. What do you want for yourself? What do you want for your relationship? What do you want for your health? What do you want for your future? And really begin to ask yourself, am I doing the things that are going to get me to my next level? And really, what is my next level? And get to a place of, a clear crystal vision of yourself. What do you really want for yourself? And then fine tune into a sense of, okay, now what do I got to do to get it? Mm-hmm. What do I have to do to get it? And know that time isn't waiting on anybody. So, we're getting old. I mean, I looked up, I'm like, hey, my reunion is going to be coming up from high school soon. Like, oh my God, like, I've got gray hairs coming, like, what's happening here? So realize, like, time is of the essence. So really just ask yourself, what does God want from me? What am I here to do? And get your game plan together to make it happen. Mm-hmm. And it's okay that you may not be where you want to be right now. A lot of us are still trying to get there. Every day is the process. And don't compare yourself with other people. Don't feel down about where you are, maybe the past mistakes that you've made, because we've all made those. Now it's just time to get real clear and focused about who you are, what you stand for, what you want, what's your vision, and then get your game plan together to make it happen. And if you need my help, contact me.
I love that. And how do we contact you?
So you can reach me at Aishah Tatum on Instagram. Mm-hmm. You can email me at Aishah@AishahTatum.com. And that's about it.
That's a good way to do it. I will put this, of course, on my website, roxannewilson.com/RT44, which is your episode number. But I do want to just say, so if you're listening in the car, her name is spelled Aishah. Yes? So it's a little different. So know that and then Tatum is Tatum. Thank you so much for this. Thank you for your words, your wisdom, your encouragement. I do want to mention you have something coming up very soon that they need to be looking out for. So it's called Elevate Your Life, right?
Yes, Elevate Your Life.
Tell us who that's for, so that if we're listening and that's us, we can hop on that.
Okay, Elevate Your Life is really a game changer. It's about you wanting to level up every area of your life. And it's not for every woman. It's really for the woman who's looking to attract love. It's for the woman who's wanting to get to a place of unconditional self-love within herself, attract more money. Who doesn't want that? Mm-hmm. But also about healing. The program is really designed for the woman that knows that she has emotional baggage she needs to release. She knows she's not walking fully in her purpose, and she's ready to connect herself with God. It's for the woman that's ready to take her health to the next level. You've heard a lot about plant-based eating, maybe even going pescatarian, but it's time, if you're ready, to begin to implement those changes, and I'll show you how to do that. So it's really for the woman that's ready to go through a process of inner growth, inner healing, and inner transformation, so she can manifest a better love life, manifest more money, and really create a life that she loves. And that's who the program is for.
Awesome. And it's coming up in about a month. Please, yes, when you send me the information, I will share that with everyone when it's ready, when you're ready for them to sign up, because I think that would be fantastic and a great opportunity to work with you and to learn from you and to start that journey or keep down that journey that's so important. Thank you so much, Aishah. I appreciate you. This was wonderful. And if you're watching online, hello, we're waving at you. Don't forget, if you're listening to this, that the extended version is on the YouTube channel, Roxtalks. Otherwise, if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, if you're not subscribed to iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you listen, please go ahead and not only would you please subscribe, but also go ahead and leave a comment. That helps so much. And if you're sitting there watching on your phone or listening on your phone, go ahead and screenshot this episode and tag myself, Roxtalks, and Aishah Tatum. And we would love to go ahead and put you on our story and highlight you as a shout out. So thank you so much. Talk to you next week and enjoy your life.